Hey, this is the restricted section. I'm Megan.
And I'm Sue.
Today we are going to be drinking Mudhouse Stout by Springfield Brewing Company.
And we're discussing the book The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers.
This is a sci-fi novel that follows the crew of the Wayfarer, which is a tunneling ship that punches wormholes for the purpose of space travel. They accepted a job that requires them to take a long mission through space to potentially hostile planet. So the story just kind of chronicles their journey there and the relationships among the crew members over the course of that journey.
So this isn't a highly plot-driven novel. It mainly focuses on the different characters, their development, and their relationships with each other.
And the characters are very rich and diverse, and the author spends a lot of time talking about their culture and their backstories and how their interactions are colored by their culture, and why, you know, this character had a problem with this character in this particular situation because of their different cultures and the planets on which they were raised. And
yeah, because they're not all humans. They're
right.
a very ragtag crew of different species and different cultures.
The world in which they exist is called the Galactic Commons. So basically, the galaxy has unified all of the different species into one functioning body. And so they've kind of accepted, more recently than the other species, they've accepted humans into the Galactic Commons. They kind of recognize humans as being more of a weak race that wouldn't have survived on their own. So the pilot of the ship is actually human, and there are a couple of characters on the ship who are human, but a lot of the other characters are, you know, from like more lizard species or very different.
Yeah, Ohan, he's
like
kind of described him like a polar bear or something. Really furry bear.
Yeah, so the book is really more about their interactions with each other than the plot. There is a plot, but
it's not going to be action packed. It's not.
Right.
Yeah, it's very much more driven by the characters.
Right. That's not to say that it's dull or uninteresting, because I definitely got sucked in and I loved it.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent, but it's not a, you know, plot twisting, page turning, I can't wait to find out what happens around this bend kind of a book.
Yeah.
So this book also had some very strong and interesting female characters, I thought. Our favorite character was a character named Sissix, and her character we found may challenge some traditional notions of being a woman and of relationships and motherhood and all of that. So she was pretty fascinating.
One of the only things that I disliked about this book was that the character of Corbin was not as well developed as the other characters. Also the AI character, Lovelace, or Levy, she wasn't extremely developed either, which I think it would have been really interesting to develop her further, because there was kind of a debate on whether AIs were considered beings who should have rights or not, because not all AIs are sentient in this novel. And Corbin he was very disliked by the rest of the crew members, and they do sort of go into his backstory a little bit, but he's just overall, his present character, I think, like, isn't as well developed. Like, you get his backstory, but he's not in the book all that much.
Do you feel like he was kind of typecast as like the, you know, stereotypical card-carrying asshole?
A little bit, yeah, because they didn't even, like, she didn't even talk about him until, I think, over halfway through the book. So for a long time I was like, so this guy's just a douche. That's it?
Okay, so I'm supposed to hate him.
Yeah,
right.
Like, and nobody likes him. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was glad that she did, you know, talk about his character a little bit, but I think it could have been more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Especially because his backstory was pretty interesting. Once they finally got into it, you know, it was super interesting, so it would have been nice to...
And it did kind of make you understand in some ways why he was such an a-hole.
Yeah, why he sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are always kind of my favorite types of characters, are the ones with complicated backstories. That's why or the ones who have sort of duality too, where it's like, you understand why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like in Batman, I always really loved Two-Face and Mr. Freeze, because
You got exactly why
Yeah.
they were the way they were.
yeah, and like Mr. Freeze has this, you know, really sad backstory that you're like, oh, I see why you're.
Oh, I'd be a superhero
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen, like, I really fell in love with the world that the book took place in, so I would have loved, like, I wanted more.
Yeah.
So if it was part of a series, I would read the shit out of that series.
I believe I read on Goodreads that she is writing a companion novel, so hopefully we'll get more of that.
I would love to have more of
I
that.
don't know if it's a sequel or if it's just following different characters, but I'm sure it'll be in the same world, so.
Yeah, it'd be really awesome. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.
So did I.
Yeah, so I definitely would recommend it. It is a sci-fi novel, so if that's what you're into, it's going to be right up your alley. But I would say that it is a decent sci-fi novel to kind of break into that genre.
Yeah.
So if it's not something you typically read, this would be a good, like, primer.
Yeah, I agree. And like we said before, it's not super plot driven, so if you're someone who wants something that's action packed, then this probably isn't for you, but yeah, if you like strong character development, then definitely check it out.
I agree. So we have been drinking Mudhouse Stout by Springfield Brewing Company during the filming of this video and on many occasions other than. This is actually made here locally in Springfield, and it's made with coffee that's been roasted in one of the local coffee houses. The Mudhouse, actually. So
Yeah.
it's aptly
Makes
named.
sense.
Yes, this is a really dark, rich. It very much tastes like coffee.
Yes. But not too much. Like it still tastes like beer.
Right. It's not like I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm
Right.
definitely drinking beer. It's just beer that tastes like coffee.
Yeah, and I really enjoy this, especially in the winter time. It's a great winter time.
It's a good winter beer.
Yes. So you can expect to see some individual videos from us, usually mostly about books, but we might do the occasional video about something else that interests us. And we're planning to do videos together at least twice a month.
So yeah, thanks for watching our first video. Hope you liked it. We were awkward as fuck doing it, so bear with us. Hopefully
We're learning.
We're learning. Hopefully we'll get more comfortable with it. But thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe because we're pretty awesome.
All right, see you guys later. Bye.